Welcome, everyone, to the best sports gambling show on the planet. This is WagerTalk Today. I am your host, Andy Lang, where the goal still remains the same. Make our bankrolls just a little bit bigger today than they were yesterday. Got a great show for everybody. Gianni, of course, is going to get us started. We're going to talk some sharp money, and I'm going to ask him about how the syndicate sharps and how he allocates money across the different accounts. Run into this issue with a couple people the last couple days, so I want to talk this one out with him. Tokyo Brandon is joining us. Him and hopefully the license plate is joining us. We're going to talk some baseball, Orioles, Red Sox, Mariners, and Astros. And Nick Parsons is going to join us to talk a little NHL, and he's got a stat that's going to blow you guys away. I had no idea about it. So stay tuned for this great stat. We're going to talk a little bit about $2 Thursday over at Sports Memo. Next week, every day, Dan and I are going to start doing deep dives on NFL season win totals. We're going to start with the Eagles. So be prepared. You want to jump in the chat, let us know what your thoughts are. Love to talk that out. And then this Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern, on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, we're doing the first ever Winning in the Shadows syndicate session. Myself and my team, we're going to do a live show. We're going to talk all of our betting strategies. We're going to talk about how we've been able to turn big profits the llast 3 years. We're going to show you spreadsheets that you can have for free, that you can track your own plays. You can follow ours as well. Any questions that you've wanted to ask us, we're going to be at your disposal. And then, of course, we got the French Open that starts on Sunday as well. So huge weekend. Let's get started. You guys hit the like button. Trying to get to 100 likes before the end of the show. That's always a goal. So if you're watching now, enjoying what you're seeing, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Let's bring in Gianni. Gianni, happy Thursday. How is everything, sir?
Beautiful, bro. ENPH stock ticker down to its 2020 lows, back to its COVID price. It just gapped down overnight. Yeah, it is a big buy today. So excited. Everything's going good. Coming off a losing day, Sharps got crushed in the NBA game, taking the Knicks, taking the under in the first half and the under in the full game. So they got buried. All that did was help the books a little bit because remember we talked about the public was opposite. They were banging Indiana. They were banging Indiana on teasers, on money lines. They were parlaying it with the over, straight betting the over. So it was a bad night to be a bookmaker yesterday in the NBA. We even lost in Major League Baseball a little bit, I think. So yeah, it's just one of those days where, you have a losing day overall. Now straight back to the grind. Lot to cover today.
I had a chaotic day yesterday. I had a couple plays that lost in chaotic fashion. The craziest one was you're going to laugh at this. I had Aaron Nesmith over 11.5 points. He had 10 points with like 4 minutes to go in the game, and he ended with 30. He ended with 30. So I was like, yeah, I can't believe it. So that was a strange cash that we had yesterday. I dropped a unit yesterday. It was one of those blah ho-hum days. I got to tell you, Johnny, as an Indiana Pacers fan, I went through all the games with Reggie Miller back in the day. I still can't put that game as more chaotic and more strange than the Reggie Miller huge fourth quarter against Spike Lee. I just don't think that one gets any better from a viewer perspective. You have celebrities involved. I can still picture where I was when I was watching it. Don't get me wrong. Last night was insanity, but I can't put that game over the Reggie Miller Spike Lee game. I don't know if you had a chance to watch it last night.
No. Didn't. I honestly, I'll be straight with you. Unless I'm looking to bet live, and I don't do much of that just because of the intensive time that you have to dedicate to it. I barely watch games anymore, especially in the NBA. Not even during the playoffs. Like I watch other sports. I watch football during the playoffs. I watch baseball during the playoffs. I love both those sports, even NHL if I could catch it. And regular season, probably football is the only thing I watch. The only other sport is MMA. Only because now after doing it, like we talked about this before, so I don't want to go long, but after you do it for so long, it sucks that you lose the passion for the sport. And it's a positive because you gain the passion for the market. So you're strictly studying the market, learning the market, trying to beat the market. And from my approach, watching the game just doesn't going to help me do that. You know what I mean? Like, especially in baseball, they're playing 162 games. Catching a game is not going to help me handicap the team. I can easily look at the box score and see, what does the bullpen look like? What did the bullpen do the last 3 days? How are they hitting? versus lefties. How are they hitting on the road? Like, I could do all that with data that I'm not going to pick off by wasting 3 hours watching a baseball game.
Yeah, I agree. Speaking of which, where's the sharp money at today? I'm guessing there's baseball
Yeah,
action.
I'm going to dive right into baseball, because even though we have a losing day in baseball, baseball's been great. I mean, I'm looking now over the last just 7 days, up over 20 units, close to a 9% ROI, up over 58 units for the year. So baseball's been where it's at. And I talked about it to my subscribers coming off with last year was a losing year overall. And I got crushed. It was because of baseball. Like, all the money I lost was because of baseball. Just couldn't recover it. And I thought that was so rare that it happens, like once every 5, 7, 10 years, that I was so sure this was going to be a good year. So far, so good. So I'll dive in there before we talk playoffs. And I'll give you a premium play that I released to subscribers. First game on the board, I think it's Texas and the New York Yankees. We went under 7.5 and under 7 in that Texas Yankees game. And we also took the dog, Texas, in the first 5 only, not for the full game, first 5 only in that one. So there, I know I lost yesterday's premium that I released, so hopefully they bounce back with these two. Couple more plays. Cleveland 9-11 plus 127. Also in early action over in the Phillies game. Books really need this game to go under. We bet it over first 5, over 5.5, over 6. But they're getting so much one-sided public money on that over. No surprise, Colorado, Philadelphia, the bettors are just blindly betting that one over. And I'm seeing like 9 out of 10 bets, and over 90% of the money is on the over. So we're with the bettors on that one. And one more I'll pop out to you is LA. I think I gave LA Angels, but we also bet the over in the Angels game. We went over the 10, laid up to minus 125, 130. That's why you're looking at 10.5 right now. So that's some of the baseball that we got down early already. If you want to talk NBA, pretty simple. Public's coming right back with Minnesota. They bet them early, in game 1, and they're coming back with them in game 2. They're betting them with the points. They're teasing them just like Indiana yesterday, and their money line betting the Minnesota side and betting the over as well. Now that over moved because the betting syndicates got down also. They went over up to over to like 216.5. That's why you're looking at 217.5 across the board. So you have the public and the sharps on the over in game 2 of Minnesota and Oklahoma City. As far as the side goes, wise guys haven't gotten involved yet. All the risk look like it's going to come from the public so far. It's on Minnesota. So unless the sharps come in and take Oklahoma City in game 2, which historically has done well, the team that wins game 1 in this round of the NBA playoffs won game 2 69% of the time. But more importantly, when you look at all the rounds from the first round to the finals, it's exactly the same percentage, 69%. So the law of big numbers carries over even to the smaller sample size. So Oklahoma City wins this game 2, at least historically, 7 out of 10 times. But the bettors are looking for that trend to buck. Florida, Carolina, only NHL game tonight. Florida did the improbable. They won game 1 on the road. Again, only about 35% of teams have been able to do that throughout NHL playoff history. They did win game 1. Usually, at least 65% of the time in this round, a team like Carolina ties it up. And in all the rounds of the playoffs, it's about 62%. So I was a little surprised that this betting line wasn't a lot higher, that it's just based on history alone, based on the fact they lost game 1 and they have their backs against the wall. You don't want to go down game 2. The series is all but over if that happens. And yet, even with the public betting Carolina, you're not seeing the big move from the sports books. It's almost like they're willing to take this position, which is a telling sign for me. In fact, my sharpest book has it below minus 127. So you look at the square. I'm not going to call them out, but right now, if you look at the squares book on the board, a book that I can't bet into, they have minus 130. If you look at the sharpest books on the board, that book sharp action at the limit, they got minus 124, not even 125. So it looks like they're taking a position, at least on Florida, thinking that this is at worst a coin flip. So if you get plus money on Florida, at least from the market perspective, it seems to be a good bet But again, you're bucking history. You're bucking a team with their back against the wall. So, yeah, it's a telling sign to see this money line so low.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you. I live in Indianapolis, and I'm lucky because we have basically every legal book. You name it, we've got it. So I can have a lot of different books and a lot of different outs. The markets that I'm in, I got to be careful, and I can't get myself limited. That's like part of the job is not getting yourself limited and taking care of your books. So I've realized a couple things. I limit myself to about $250 per bet per book. I can bet it on multiple books, but anytime I go over that, I get like a trader review or something. I know this goes against a lot, but in the prop market, the quickest way to get limited is to beat the line bad.
Yeah, just to close. It don't matter the result. You just beat the closing line in the props. You're gone.
Yes, absolutely. So I've learned not to do that. I try not to release props the day of. When you're dealing with much, much bigger limits on your basic money lines and your spreads and your totals, how do you guys allocate money across the different books?
Here's how it goes down for us. My job is to get as many books as possible that are off screen. Okay. We're now in the business of hand betting. We use a couple bots on accounts that they're okay with it. But the bot's going to get you kicked out. At the least, they're going to put the spinner on it and they're going to delay it and, prove you're a human being, that kind of bullshit to just delay the bet coming in. So when it's like that, we know not to even use the bot. But with a couple agents that I have a decent relationship with that say, okay, you could use the bot on this account, you could use the bot on that account. It's a lot easier. You just punch in the number. If it's available, the bot's going to bet it for you. With all that said, the way it works is this. I think a lot of people don't understand how you get the action. Let's say I know you're a winning MMA bettor. You've crushed it over your last 1,000 bets. You crushed it over your last 2,000 bets. I'm confident you're now favored to win over your next 2,000 bets. I'm going to do one of two things. I'm either going to free roll you, which means I'm going to give you $1,000 per play, free roll. I'm going to bet it for you. Nothing's ever going to come out of your pocket. If you lose, I'm going to pay it. If you win, I'm going to pay you. Now, if you lose, we put that on the side with a work off. Let's say you lose your first 3 bets. They're all dogs for $1,000 each. Your work off's now minus $3,000. So until you recover that $3,000, I don't have to pay you, but I'm free rolling you to get your bet, to get your action. The other way to do it, which is the majority do it, is I have to book your play. And the more money I'm willing to book it for, the earlier you're going to give it to me. So let's say I know you're working with a couple different guys like myself. You're able to get a dime here, a nickel there, dime there. I'm going to step to you. I'm going to say, listen, Andy, I could give you $2,000 on your plays, but you got to give it to me first. And you don't have to put 4 different guys. So all of a sudden now you're going to hit me up and say, hey, get me $2,000 on fighter A. I book it for $2,000. Now my job is to move that $2,000. And because I trust you're a long-term winner, I want to bet on top of it.
Yes.
And the way it works is we decide what we want to hold. You know what I mean? Like let's say it's 4 of us and we all want a dime each. That means we got to get 4,000 on top of your 2,000. So once we get your 2,000, we got to get 4,000 more on that side so that we each have 1,000 in risk on that game. That's how it works. We either book the action which sounds illegal, or we free roll the action. That's how you do it. And I saw that back when I started. When I first started in Philadelphia, with the group I was working with, which actually became infamous for being behind the NBA betting scandal, they were booking Billy Walters. They had to give him $5,000 a game. We had a red phone in that office. I swear to God, it was a red phone, and it was only for Billy. And he would call, they would answer it, and he would say, okay, give me Eagles -4. No problem. So they just booked him for Eagles -4 at 5,000. Now they're going to call out in the back room, Eagles -4. Our job was to hit every book we can at -4 that was available, bet it, and then turn those bets in. And they were hoping that we not only got down to 5,000, but it was all said and done. We got them down 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever we could get down for them. That's how it worked. And sometimes when you got them more than they wanted, because they got such a good line, now they could bet the other side even and work middles and manipulate the market that way. So that's usually how it works. You're either going to free roll your wise guy or you're going to book them. That's the only way to get the action other than providing accounts.
Amazing how we can be in the same business and it based on the state we're in, it's completely different. It's really amazing the different markets now that are so available. I was talking to Crackman and talked about how 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago, props were kind of a no-nothing thing. Now every book has them.
And they're getting the majority of the money as well.
Yeah. So I've enjoyed it. Well, that was interesting. Me being in a legal state, I've never dealt with that before. So I appreciate that insight. Guys, hit the like button. Gianni's here every day, dropping knowledge on us. Gianni, tell everyone what you have up at Wager Talk for clients.
Yeah, it's baseball and playoffs tonight. Baseball and playoffs, and actually hit a UFL game. We've been doing good in UFL. I have a UFL 4% also. So a lot of action. We don't have MMA this weekend. That means we could focus a little more on the playoffs and Major League Baseball. So package will be up within the next 30 minutes at Wager Talk. And make sure you check out that page, my page, because I will put a free premium in there. I try to do that each and every day. I was actually going to use Texas first 5, but I said I'll give that out on Wager Talk today. So I'll throw out another free play on there later in the day. Thanks again, brother, for having me on.
Thanks, Gianni. Appreciate it. Gianni the Greek, everyone, here every day. Brett, it looks like he did not have any. Normally he will. If he's got some really good information, he'll give it to us first thing on the show, but does not look like he had any today. All right, guys, let's go. Let's take a little trip. We'll go all around the world, and then we'll talk about some upcoming specials that we have. So let's take a look. We're going to go back to a no-run first inning from Ralph Michaels. We're 1-1 on these this week. Let's try to make it 2-1. He's looking at the Rangers and the Yankees, no-run first inning. Yankees 5-1 under last 6 games. Rangers have not scored a run in the first in any of those games. Yankees 13-2 to the under, only scored a run in the first themselves in 1 game. So you got 2 teams trending big time to the no-run in the first inning in the Rangers and the Yankees. Ross Benjamin likes the first half under in the Wolves and the Thunder, 110.5. Teams are 6-1 to the under. Last 7 times they've played each other, these 2 teams, all games this year, first half has gone under. Minnesota 10-0, first half under, following a loss by 10 or more points. Take a look at a couple of my free plays. I like Frederick Anderson under 23.5 saves, under in 7 straight games. Only had 15 saves in game 1 against Florida, and Carolina hasn't allowed more than 21 shots on goal in 7 games. So they're not even getting over this 23.5 shots on goal. And Anderson was terrible in the first game. So I like that one. And of course, it's Thursday. We got to do a darts play. I think the Luke Darley is in play, guys. You can parlay Luke Littler and Luke Humphreys both to win. Littler's got a good matchup against Stephen Bunting, who's been over the course of the season pretty bad in the Premier League. He's getting better. And then you got Luke Humphreys versus Rob Cross. Rob Cross inconsistent. I like the way Humphreys is playing right now. So a lot of these plays can be at the Wager Talk free picks page. Go there if you want some more information and you want some more free picks and some write-ups about some of the games. So again, Rangers, Yankees, no run first inning. First half under on the Wolves and Thunder. Frederick Anderson under 23.5 saves. And the Luke darts Darley is in play. All right, guys, what do we have up at Wager Talk? Myself, big cash last night in the NBA. That makes it 5 straight NBA winners, and we are going right back to it tonight. NBA has been the second round and the third round of the NBA has been lights out for us. Regular season was amazing. Round 1 was bad. We stopped doing plays in round 1, and we picked up momentum. Go grab that NBA play. This is going to be a really, really nice play for clients. It's already up, going for number 6 tonight in the NBA. We lost in the NHL and WNBA last night. We won in MLB and NBA, but honestly, we're going to focus on NBA. That's where a lot of the profits are coming in. So NBA best bet is up, and also French Open is right around the corner. The draw just came out today, so we're working on those lines, and those plays will start coming out. You can get 30 days for only $49. 176 units were up in tennis lifetime. This is a sport that I bet a little bit more than my normal flat betting. So take advantage of that. And if you're interested in something a little bit more long-term, take a look at this Wager Talk Summer Celebration. It gets you Memorial Day through Labor Day. And if you want to lock it in now, your special starts right now. So the sooner you lock this in, the sooner you're going to be getting these specials. It comes out to about $5 per day, 98 days of uninterrupted access. Just look at these price points. 30 days is $299. 90 days is $849, but you're going to get this for $579. So lock this in as soon as possible with the handicapper of your choice, and you're going to get plays all the way through Labor Day. It's the dog days of summer, and it's a great time to turn some profit. So you're looking to try out a handicapper for 98 days, that 3-month period. This is the best time to do it. Just check that out at the deals page over at wagertalk.com. All right, let's bring in Tokyo Brandon. We're going to talk a little bit of baseball here. Tokyo, before we get to your games, I have to ask you about this Phillies and Rockies. My last two baseball winners were the Phillies team total over. The team total was up to 6.5 yesterday. We still played it. It still went over. Every time I wake up in the morning and I look at who Colorado is throwing out there for a pitcher, they're worse than the one the day before. You have to lay minus 191 at -2 in the game today. I've not seen lines like this in the middle of the season. You may see them towards the end when teams have given up. Is this Rockies team like this historically bad? Have you been playing against them, or what do we do with something like this?
They absolutely are historically bad. As a matter of fact, they're the only team in MLB that ranks 28th or worse out of 30 teams in every category that I rank. So, yeah, but be careful today because this is game 4 of a 3-game series. The Phillies have been hitting the crap out of the ball, but if you remember 2 games ago when they went against a decent pitcher in Kyle Freeland, the game was pretty tight until the 6th inning. And if you had a -2 in that, you were Amber Hearding the bed because that game was tight until the 7th inning. So today they have a decent, well, I wouldn't call German a decent pitcher, but he's better than what they had yesterday. So, and the Phillies might be a little lethargic today because they're just trying to get out of Colorado to get to their next game. They've already won the series. So I'd be careful on that one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm not laying those kind of numbers. I mean, they're insanity. Well, let's talk about the Orioles and the Red Sox. The chat is already talking about this. Orioles, hey, hallelujah. They can win a game. They finally got a win last night. What's your breakdown for Orioles and Red Sox today?
Yeah, so we got Lucas Giolito, who was really good 5 years ago, and we have Cade Povich, who's never been good. So how do we approach this game? I have the Red Sox better than the Orioles in almost every category, but just a little bit better. I got them both batting pretty mediocre, around 15 out of 30 teams. And looking at the bullpen, both bullpens below average. This includes current form. It doesn't mean that they're always below average. It just means like right now they're performing below average in Major League Baseball. I have them both ranked right around 16. And starting pitching, I have both of these guys ranked almost towards the bottom out of 200 pitchers. So if anything in this game, I would take an over. And I just looked at Pinnacle and it's 8. So I think over 8 would be a good way to approach this game because both bullpens are performing somewhat poorly, but both starting pitchers are just absolutely horrible right now. I think even mediocre lineups would be capable of getting over an 8 in this one. And if you got a 4-4 game, you're going to go over. So I think over is the way to go in this one.
Tokyo Brandon and the license plate joining us here. Tokyo, thanks so much. I know the time is crazy for you, but we're going to break down one more code, and I know you've got a really nice promo code for us. Talk a little bit of Mariners and Astros. Kirby for Seattle, McCullers for Houston. What do you make of this pitching matchup, and how's this game break down?
Yeah, my promo code is TB3, and if you use TB3, you can get 3 days all access to my plays for just $39. It's a pretty good deal considering 5% plays are $35. So it's only $4 more than that if I release a 5% play in the next 3 days. You get your value back. I have a 4% in MLB today, and we're going to talk about the daily show that I do in just a minute. Total bases. But first, let me get to the Mariners and Astros. So this game is the biggest mystery box of the day. We got George Kirby going for Seattle, and it's going to be his first start of the season, coming off injury. And we got Lance McCullers, who has a couple starts under his belt, but he's performed horribly. However, Lance McCullers is a pretty good pitcher. I don't know what's wrong with him this year. If you remember when the Astros were making a playoff run, he was their go-to guy. He was really good, had an ERA under 2, and he was just dealing. Since he's come back, he's been horrible. I have him ranked on a curve of 30. I have him ranked 28 out of 30 starting pitchers, which is really bad. George Kirby's the thing. I don't know what to really expect from him. And both teams are not really batting very well right now. They're both in the bottom 20 of major league teams. The one thing I do like is Seattle's bullpen. They're performing quite well right now. And Houston's bullpen is performing quite well as well. So how do you approach a game where you have two bad starting pitchers? Well, not necessarily bad, but used to be good and performing poorly starting pitchers. Two lineups that are performing kind of poorly at the moment, and two solid bullpens. No, it might be a little dangerous, but I think under is the only way to go in this game. It's gonna don't bet the farm. Make a small play on the under in this one. Yes. Make a small play on the under in this one. This is really a mystery box because we don't know what to expect from Kirby. I don't expect either of the starters to go very deep in this one, and I think it'll be bullpen reliant. So in that case, I think they're both pretty solid. I would go under in this one.
Yeah, you brought up McCullers. You were a scout. You did this, professionally. What do you guys do when, or what did you guys do when there was a pitcher where there wasn't an injury? His stuff was just gone. Like, what's the process for you guys?
It happens. And as a scout, we're mostly scouting guys who have not pitched in MLB before. So we're not really scouting the guys who are veterans and losing their stuff. But it doesn't really happen on the guys that we're going after. I was going to interesting story. I did go to Otani's high school when he was pitching, and he and Kikuchi went to the same high school. So I got to see them when they were in high school in my scouting days. That was an interesting story. I've seen Darvish in high school. I've seen, quite a few Japanese pitchers, but guys do lose their stuff. I don't think that's the case with McCullers. I think he's just rusty coming off injury. I think my opinion is he's going to be back to his old self soon, but whether it's today or not, I'm not so sure.
Did Otani jump off was he lights out, like amazing when you saw him, or was he a little bit of a late bloomer?
As a pitcher, he was lights out, but as a hitter, he wasn't really actually developed yet. So it's quite interesting because now he's better known for his hitting than he is for his pitching. Back then he was going both ways, but he was more scouted for his pitching skills back then. And Kikuchi was actually the big name. Everyone was coming for Kikuchi, and he spurned the MLB to pitch for the Cebu Lions for, I think, 2 years, and then he came to MLB. But Kikuchi was the guy everyone had their eyes on. Otani was relative unknown back then.
Interesting. You mentioned you got total bases. You mentioned your promo code. Tell everyone what you have up at WagerTalk.
Sure. I got a 4% play out today. Currently number 3 at WagerTalk in profit in 2025. Number 1, 3 of the last 4 years at WagerTalk in profit. Total bases, you can see down there, Adam, myself, and Brian Leonard. We do this every weekday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And we give out a parlay, and this is today's parlay. You can see in that graphic. Our parlays are 4 wins and 3 losses, but they're averaging about plus 500. So if you bet our parlays the last 7 days, you'd be plus 18.
Wow.
So it's pretty good. Pretty good for 4 and 3. So I mean, 3 pretty good baseball minds. Brian and Adam can nerd out really good on minor leaguers and stuff like that, and I break down my numbers. It's not for casual baseball fans. It's for baseball geeks who really like to get to the nuts and bolts of the breakdowns of all the matchups and stuff. We even break down Colorado Rockies games. You probably can't get that anywhere else.
I mean, listen, Tokyo, I can break it down. Their pitching is one of the worst I've ever seen. And I don't even every day the starting pitcher has an ERA of 7. It's like, this is the best that you guys have. It's amazing. They got another one today.
Yeah, and who is it? There's another good team that's traveling to Colorado in the next series. I forgot who. I think the Yankees are going to Colorado, aren't they? I'm not sure. It's a really good team that's going to go to Colorado, so it's going to be another carnage. It's going to be more 7.5 team totals like we're seeing in Philadelphia today. Do not take that, by the way. That's quite dangerous.
Yeah, I was nervous about 6.5, and I think they were over in the 5th inning.
Yeah, they were over before the 5th.
Yeah. So,
but not against Kyle Freeland.
Not
2
against
games ago.
Kyle Freeland.
So,
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
Tokyo Brandon, guys. Thank you so much,
thanks, guys.
Tokyo, for taking time out. Go check him out on Total Bases. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on today's show. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You guys know what to do. Got a lot of really good breakdown videos coming from all sports, wrapping up NHL and NBA playoffs, and we got plenty of breakdown videos to get you ready for those final games. We're going to talk a little bit about the Thunder and the Wolves here. We're going to do, I'm going to call it a big game breakdown. That's Teddy's segment. So we'll just say a game breakdown. Let's talk the Thunder and the Wolves. Thunder minus 7.5 over under is at 216. I saw this one at 217.5 last night. So there's definitely been some movement. So let's take a look at what happened in game one. Small sample size, but we gotta talk about what happened with Minnesota. So McDaniels, Gobert, Conley, and Naz Reid combined for 20 points. My opinion, that's just not going to continue. Dante DiVincenzo, 3 of 14 from the field. The Wolves, 15 of 51 from 3. And the Thunder, they didn't even need to take very many threes. 11 of 21 as a team. The starters only made 3 of them. So the starters were getting to the basket. They're getting high percentage shots. 17 turnovers for the Wolves. And you look at the stat sheet. Thunder had more rebounds, more assists, and fewer turnovers. If you're out rebounding and getting more assists and you're turning the ball over fewer times than your opponent, you're going to give yourself a great position to win and win by margin. I did look at this. So the Wolves have lost 3 games in the postseason, and they all have looked the same. Take their first loss. They score 85 points in game 2 against LA. Next game, they win 116-104. Game 1 against Golden State, 88 points. Next game, they win 117-93. Can they rebound against Oklahoma City? I think they played as bad as they possibly could in game 1. Rudy Gobert was in foul trouble less than 2 minutes into the game. I think he's going to get played out of the rotation here. And I just don't think Naz Reid is going to continue his funk. Previous 2 bad games in the playoffs for the Wolves, they've rebounded and played well. I don't know if they win outright, but can they keep it close? Yeah, I think they can. Timberwolves plus 7.5 would be the way that I would look at this one if you're looking at a spread. All right, guys, once again, if you want to take advantage of some of the plays that we have up, I myself have this NBA best bet that's up. We're going for 6 straight winners after a nice cash last night. Then we're looking at tennis. The draws come out today. We're going to start putting out plays probably tomorrow, Saturday, when the lines get finalized. So you can get 30 days for only $49. And again, WagerTalk Summer of Celebration, under $5 a day. If you've been looking at a handicapper going, oh, yeah, I wish I could try him out for a couple months, this is the time to do it. You get 98 days. It's discounted down to 579 days. You're going to get Memorial Day all the way through Labor Day. You get it today. Those plays start now. So make sure you take advantage of that. That's at the deals page over at wagertalk.com. All right, let's bring in Nick Parsons, who we talk to every Thursday. He's going to tell us about the featured handicapper over at Sports Memo. And why don't you start off by telling us about that? And then this stat you got on the NHL game is this one blew me away. So the floor is yours, Nick. Tell us all about it.
Well, yeah. Well, talking about deals here, the $2 Thursday capper at Sports Memo this week is Rob Vincelletti. And so Rob does have a really big play up, guys. It's a 5% WNBA play. And Rob has jumped out to a perfect 5-0 start this year with his WNBA picks. He's doing really well with all of his selections right now. So a 5% WNBA pick, just $2 on a capper that's already started the WNBA season 5-0. I don't know. I just don't know what else to say here, Andy.
Just get to the NHL stat about the Carolina Hurricanes. It's amazing.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, we're down to the wire in the NHL here. Came on last Thursday, and I actually gave out a play on Carolina on the puck line. I also really liked the under in that one, and neither of those things came true there. Unfortunately, Carolina lost 5-2. Rest leading to rust, unfortunately. But now, yeah, this is the biggest game of the year for Carolina. It's really it's down to the wire here. But yeah, the stat that we were talking about earlier is that Carolina has now lost 13 straight Eastern Conference Finals games dating over the last 15 years. So 13 straight losses in the Eastern Conference Finals. It's beyond ridiculous, obviously. Head coach Rob Brindamore, he actually scored a goal winner a game winner in Game 7 and the Eastern Conference Finals against Buffalo, but that was all the way 19 years ago. You mentioned, Andy, earlier, I was listening to you, Frederik Andersen. He's just been so good leading up to this point, up until Game 1. He hasn't had to do a lot, as you mentioned as well. He was basically leading all goaltenders in every statistical category. I definitely underestimated Florida in Game 1 there. I thought it would be exhausted after coming from behind to knock off the Leafs in 7 games. But now I really do think that Florida's primed for a letdown here. After that 7-game series win over Florida, now it's managed to get the split over the first 2 games here and shock them there. And so, yeah, I think Carolina will bounce back here. They couldn't have played any worse. Frederik Andersen couldn't have played any worse. And so in their biggest game of the year, I'm suggesting a play on Carolina right around -130.
Nice. Justin's got a question for you. He's looking at DraftKings ticket counts on sides and totals. It says it seems like the public is crushing NHL playoffs. Are you seeing the same thing, that the general public's having a lot of success?
Absolutely. And Gianni talked about it at the top too. It's the same thing's happening in the NBA. The Sharps are getting killed in the playoffs right now. And so, yeah, it's difficult. There was just a few games left. I don't think that the money's any greener in the playoffs right now, guys. There's lots of money to be made. I think a lot more value over in baseball and WNBA, even CFL now, Andy. Yeah, there you go.
Awesome stuff. Thank you, Nick Parsons. Again, tell us about the $2 player and handicap over at Sports Memo.
Yeah, Rob Vincelletti, $2 Thursday, guys. Every Thursday, there's a $2 capper. And so Rob's our $2 capper this week. It's a 5% WNBA total, and he's jumped out to a 5-0 start in the WNBA. Head on over to Sports Memo right now to check that out.
And Nick's been doing a great job in the NHL. Nick's been doing a great job long-term for clients. I see you're up number 2 at Sports Memo for all picks since November 1st. That's not a small sample size. So congratulations to you and congratulations to your clients. It's a job well done.
Thanks a lot, Andy.
All right. Have a good one. Nick Parsons, everyone. Dave Mason is not going to be able to make it. So we're cutting the show a little bit close. Darn it. I wanted to find out about Beat Dave Mason. We got to keep track of the Beat Dave Mason and Art DeCesar. Last week it was Patrick Reed to win the PGA Championship, and that one wasn't even close. We got to keep record of that, Dan, to see how many times those guys get beat. I'm guessing they're not going to get beat that often, so we'll see. So, but thanks for joining us, everyone. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. We're going to get ready for the weekend. A lot of big events, even though there's no UFC. We've got plenty of sporting events to profit on. So make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out all those preview videos as well as the WagerTalk free picks page. Take care. Good luck on your bets. We'll see everyone tomorrow.